So welcome to Senku Fair 2020. Today we are going to be looking at how to combine sounds and patches on the Korg Krome. And when you get this knowledge, you can use it on all Korg keyboards. From the Cross to the Krome to the Kronos to the new Krome EX, all those workstations, you can use this same approach for all of them. We are tackling mainly the combination mode today. Okay, so we want to start. Once I'm sure those of you watching me live from Facebook or YouTube, you can see the screen of the keyboard. We are going to begin with an empty combi patch. Okay, so on the Korg Krome, if you want to do a combination, if you want to have a stack of 16 sounds with arpeggiators, with effects, different kind of effects, the first thing that you have to do is go to your user category, which is the number 16, the 16th category on the Korg Krome. So once you go there, so let's take it. Okay, if you can see the screen of the keyboard, you realize from keyboard to user is from 00 to user 16. So once you select user 16, you can have an initialized combi. Okay, all the ones which haven't been used, you will see init combi. That's the first point of call. Init combi. So once you see the init combi, just press OK. Once you press OK, that takes you to the main page. That's the page 1. The main page of the initialized combi. Okay, let's go through this. If you want to stack sounds, the first thing that you have to understand is that on the Krome and Kronos and all of these Korg keyboards, you can have as many as 16 different layers. Okay. By default, Krome has already set one sound for you through one MIDI channel, which is the global MIDI channel. Okay, so how do I add the other sounds? Many a time people ask, when I go to combination, I can only hear only one sound playing. Even when I select my sounds, I can't hear them. Okay, it's very simple. All the sounds that you'd want to play from the internal Krome or Kronos memory, you would have to set them to the MIDI channel assigned to the sounds inside the Krome. Okay, so this is how you do it. On the Krome, there's this page button. The page button is next to the rotary wheel. To the left of it is exit. So once you press the page button, it will take you to all the pages. The first page is page 0. The second page is the controllers. Page 2, you can set your EQ in. Page 3, you can set your MIDI and other stuff. Page 4, you can set the zones, how hard you want the sound to come out, sound to be heard, and even split. Okay, zone 5 is the MIDI filter, where you can filter, sustain, the pitch bend, the knobs. For some sounds, the reason for this particular page is, for some sounds, those of us who do live stuff, sometimes you don't want your sustain pedal to cut through all the sounds. You want the sustain pedal to be affected by a group of sounds, or maybe even one sound. The MIDI filter can help you filter all those sounds from being affected by the MIDI channel from the sustain pedal. Okay, today we are not really going to delve into that, but I'm just mentioning it so that you understand. Then the page 8 is the effects, the insert effects. Those effects can be inserted to each particular patch on the combi. You can have as many effects as possible, but always be mindful of the memory, your RAM, so that you don't have like sounds cutting through. So you don't have to stack effects over and over and over. Okay, the last page is the LFO. We all know what LFOs are, low frequency oscillators, to create those vibratos and other stuff. And the master effects and the total effects. The total effects affect the entire mix, the entire sound. So usually you put compressors, EQ, 4-band, EQs on those sounds. Okay, so now let's go on to how to select the sounds. Okay, so the first thing I told you, user category 16. You select it, you go into the sounds. Usually, if someone else has used the keyboard, you might realize the person has his or her sounds already in place. So you go to a fresh one. Okay, the first thing, page. This is my approach. Someone else can take you through selecting the sounds before going to the MIDI channel. But I want to hear the sounds, so I'll go to the MIDI channel to set my channels, because sometimes you are playing other channels from an external MIDI controlling the keyboard sounds. Okay, so first thing, page 3, timbre param. You find this on the Kronos, you find this on the Cross, timbre parameter. Okay, once I get there, you realize that each of the 16 different sounds that you can stack together have different MIDI channels, which move chronologically from 1 to 16. Okay, but now you are going to set those sounds that you want to play from the Korg Krome or Korg Kronos or Cross to user to MIDI channel global channel or O1G. So I'll just set, if I'm stacking 4 sounds, I'll just set them. So right now let's do 3 or let's do 4. So I'll just set 4. So if you can see the screen, you realize that I have set timbre 1 to O1G, timbre 2 is still O1G, the global channel, timbre 3 global channel, timbre 4 global channel. Once I have that, that means that I'm playing the sounds assigned to all those channels on the combi now. So all of them will sound. Listen to something. Now they are all Chrome Grand, but you can see the mixer, the levels of sound. If you can see the screen, you realize that all 4 are being shown. Okay, now let's select the sounds for the 4 different timbres. The first one, timbre 1, maybe I want to do a piano. Any piano at all will work, but I would want to go for New Age Grand. So I've set my first sound. Now, because I want to hear the second sound alone, when I'm selecting it, I will solo it. So this is the solo button. So solo. Now I go into the category and set the sound I want to set to timbre 2. So let's say a warm pad. I'm doing a typical church combi. So warm pad will be under slow synth. Okay. Cool. So I have set my warm pad now. If I want to hear how the warm pad and the piano sounds together, I'll solo both. I hope I'm not too loud out there, but that's it. So let's set the third sound. I'll solo it, then set, let's take strings. Strings will be under strings. So okay, so now the 3 sounds together. Okay, let me also give you this trick about combis, especially using warm pad. The velocity for warm pad is around 001. You have the range from 001 to 127. Depending on how hard you play the keys, that sound is going to come out. By default, warm pad has a velocity range of 001 to 127. So once I play very soft, all the 3 sounds are there right now, but because I'm playing very soft, all the other sounds, you won't hear it. But once I play hard, that's one thing about the church guys, like you should know about warm pad. So sometimes, even when you are in the worship mode, you can play very soft and the warm pad will be playing. If you want to sound a little bit aggressive, okay, so now we have 3 sounds. Let's add a 4th sound, maybe some Fantasia. So I'll solo that, the same approach. I'll solo that. Okay, Fantasia, I think will be under. Let's check fast synths. Okay, Fantasia is under fast synths. So Fantasia. Okay, now I have my 4 sounds. As I told you, you can have as many as 16. Now we are just using 4. Okay. Now, I have 4 different sounds now. I want to check my levels. So on page 0, on the 3rd tab, you see mixer from the 1st timbre to the 8th timbre. You select it, then start adjusting your levels from there. So maybe I want to reduce the strings a bit, reduce the Fantasia a bit. On the Kronos, these are already assigned to the sliders, so just draw them down. On this one, you have to either touch it and drag it up, or use the wheel, or whichever way. You can type the number 2 in. If you know it, you can type the number. Okay. So that's the first thing. So now you know how to select your sounds. You know how to assign different timbres to different sounds. You know how to adjust the levels. You know how to solo them. You know how to actually play them with different velocities. Okay, now let's go on to adding effects. Usually, personally, I like to add a reverb to my piano sound. A little bit of reverb, not too much. Okay, so you go back to the page button, page 9 or page 8. Page 8 is the insert effect that I talked about. That insert effect, you can assign it to particular sounds or group of sounds. Okay, so that's page 8, right? So I'll just select it. Okay. If you can see the screen, you realize for each of the sounds, I'm playing through left and right. That means the left and right output from the keyboard. Okay, I'm using guitarists because they usually do this. Before guitarists route their sounds through effects, they will connect from their guitar to the effects, then from the effect to the output, the amp. The same thing here. So what you are trying to tell Chrome is, instead of you going straight to the left and right of the output, you are going to go through an effect before you go through the amp. So for this particular timbre, LL/R, that's timbre 1, I'm going to route it through an effect, IFX1. It can be any of the IFXs. Okay, so I'll just turn my dial to IFX1. If you can see the screen, you realize that there's a right angle line showing timbre 1 being routed through something. Now, here, there is no effect selected now. No effect, if you can see. So once you go to the IFX setup, you find all the effects. So IFX1, I want to set reverb to it. So I'll put it on. Then select reverb from the bunch of effects you can have on the Kronos. On the Chrome, actually. Sorry, I've been playing the Kronos. So. Okay, so this is reverb. Okay, let's try the reverb hall. Okay, so now my piano, let me solo it. My piano is being played through reverb hall before the output goes through my left and right channels. So I can set the wetness or dryness of the reverb. This one, everybody who is into sound knows this. Okay, so I'll go to the particular IFX that I selected, which is this. Right now, I have my wet-dry ratio at 20:80. Once you bring it all the way down, you have a dry one. That means the reverb is not taking effect. Once I increase it, very nice for Hillsong. Very nice. Okay. If you don't want to have a lot of reverb, because usually if you have a lot of reverb on your sound, it becomes muddy. Sometimes you just need a little bit of the reverb. So I'll just reduce my wet or dry ratio to maybe around 7 or 8. or maybe 10. Your ears are the best. What word should I use? Like, your ears can guide you better than anything else. There's no set value that you have to set the reverb degree to, the wetness and dryness ratio. It's to your ears and how they sound. So perfect. Okay. Now we have a reverb on the piano. Let's take it like I want to add the reverb through the warm pad too. All I need to do is go to the routing for the timbers, and instead of left and right for timber 2, I'll just change it to IFX 1. So that means that now I have two sounds being played through reverb, and the output is going to the amp. It's as simple as that. It's nothing complicated. So, but remember, I've actually muted my warm pad, so I'll bring it up now. Perfect. Okay, so that's with insert effects. For master effects, usually you want to put one, maybe a compressor. Usually in church, I realized my sound guys, I don't know if they don't like me also, but they usually turn down my keyboard. Not because I'm sounding loud, but I think they are having issues. So what I do is I put a compressor on all my sounds. Like a particular combi, I'll put a compressor on it and increase the gain so that I'll sound a bit heavier. So it's simple. So you go, just like you inserted the insert effect, you go to the page 9, master effect. Okay, so right now I have total effect here. I'll just set it on, then put a compressor on it. Just like the same way we selected reverb. So compressor will be under dynamics, you should know, stereo compressor. Right now I have a compressor on the sound. If you want to set the details for the compressor, you select it. So total effect, maybe the gain output, I want to set it to like, I'm coming. The output level, listen to something. See, it's sounding very loud. So that's what I do. So if my church keyboard sound guys tell me, yo, this thing should be on 12 o'clock, I can put it at 12 o'clock and still increase the gain here because I have a compressor on this. And you can even set the ratio, the sensitivity, the attack. You should know these, the ASDRs, attack, sustain, decay, release. Okay. So that's how to select the sounds, assign them to particular timbers, route them through insert effects, and put a total effect on the sound. Okay, now let's go to how to split the sound. Because so many people ask those questions. Okay, let's say I'm using this keyboard alone. The first thing that you should know is the basic thing. How do you split sounds? There should be a split point, right? There should be a split point. So now I have 4 sounds. I want to add a lead sound and split the lead to maybe C4, this is C4. I hope I'm not wrong. So C5, C6 to C7. Okay. So how did we select our sounds initially? I told you per my formula, the Kokuro formula. The Kokuro formula. The first thing that you have to do is set the MIDI channel. Once I'm not controlling it from an external MIDI device. So I'll just go to my page, go to timbre parameter, set my MIDI channel to the global channel because right now it's on MIDI channel 5. So MIDI channel. So I came back. How did we select the sound? We soloed it. So timbre 5. I'll set a lead sound to it. Let's take the express lead. Okay, now I have express lead as part of my sounds. All I want to do is split the keyboard in such a way that the express lead will be at the top registers. Let me also make this note of caution. It's not like once you have the express lead to the top registers, you can only feel the top register of the sound there. You can actually reduce the pitch to a lower level so that it sounds like you playing at this level. Okay, so we'll go through all that because Alira says we have like 45 minutes. Okay, so we have our express lead. What's the next thing? I'll go to my page, zone/delay. Okay. Zone/delay, you have the ability to check your velocity levels, your zone levels. I've already talked about the velocity. I will demonstrate that if I have time. You know, sometimes the classical people, or even in church, you want to be playing a funky groove, but you only want to hear your orchestra hit. When you hit harder, you can do that. So that once you're jamming, and if you're shabata, so once you play the padapa, you hit harder and the orchestra would sound because it's at a particular velocity level. If we have time, we can go through that. But right now, let's check the splitting. Okay. I have timbre 1 set to C-1 to G9, right? Timbre 2 set to C-1 to G9. If you remember, the lead synth sound is at timbre 5, right? Because I want the lead sound to be alone on itself in the upper registers of this keyboard, what I'm going to do is reduce the upper limit of the other sounds. It's simple. If you know the number already, if you know it's E5, you can just type E5 or use the dial to take you to E5. If you can't do it, just press enter. Where's my enter? Enter, then tap the particular limit you want the whether lower or upper you want it to be. You just tap it. So if you check, immediately I tapped C5, it came as C5. So I'll set all of them to C5, enter, C5. And those of you who use DAWs and VSTs, it's the same thing. So don't go and stand somewhere and say, Korg keyboards there. You people are using VSTs, DAWs, and doing this, and you come and do it on Korg keyboards and say, Korg keyboards there, you have to press this. You've been doing that thing a long time on your VSTs. So guys, please, that thing, I don't want to hear it. It's fine. Okay. So enter C5, enter C5. Okay. Now for the lead sound, I don't want it to be in these lower registers. So I'll come to my lower limit, press enter and set it. So I don't have it here now. Only have it here. The pitch is too high, right? I want to reduce the pitch. So the same page, I'll go to controllers. Wait, page. Timbre parameter, where we set our MIDI channels. You see pitch. You have MIDI oscillator pitch. Let me just take you a little bit through the oscillator. What happens is, Korg keyboards use a lot of engines. Even with the Kronos, there are a lot more engines. Some people have complained that when they stack sounds, some of them fall back or fall out. The reason is, sometimes the sound that you've selected has multiple engines working at the same time. So Korg gives you the opportunity to reduce the number of oscillators assigned to the sound. This is just a comment in passing. So if you have any issues, contact Sweet Music, we'll take you through. Korg gives you the opportunity to reduce the number of oscillators because some of the sounds have like 4 oscillators, 2 oscillators. So if you have one sound, like 4 oscillators, and you're combining 16, why is this thing, you understand? It's a workstation, all right, but you're giving the memory, the RAM, too much work to do. And every computer would crash or try to fight with you. You understand what I mean? So that's the reason for the oscillators. You can reduce the number of oscillators assigned to a sound. Let's go to our pitch now. Timbre 5, lead synth. Timbre 5. Okay. So what I do is, on the Timbre 5, I know that 12 semitones give me an octave, right? So I'll just reduce it to -12. If I reduce it to -24, -36, If you are not good at maths, just count your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One semitone. One octave. If you are not good at maths, if you can't add 12 to 12 so that you say chord keyboards are difficult. If you can add 12 to 12, 12, 12, 24, 12 plus 12 plus 12, 36. That's all. Okay. So I think I'll keep mine at negative 24. Okay. Now I've set my pitch for the sound. I'll solo the others. It's as simple as any other keyboard. Korg is as simple as any other keyboard. Usually this sound sounds dry in my ears. So usually on my lead sounds, I have a little bit of delay. I have a little bit of reverb. Let's try it. We can do it, right? It's just the same approach. So I'll go to my page, insert effect. Even though I have reverb on this, I want to assign another reverb to this sound alone. So I'll set that one to timbre 5. I'll set it to, let's say, IFX 5. Go to my IFX setup, IFX 5. Set it to reverb. Cool. Let me set it to IFX 4 so that I can chain it. Because something chaining effects. If I route my piano through a reverb and I chain it to the next insert effect, the sound will go through both effects. I've chained them together. The guitarists do it a lot. I'll just chain reverb to, let's say, a delay. So my sound is going through reverb and it's going through delay. Okay, so I'll put it at, I'll put the reverb on IFX 4. Reverb. Where are you, reverb? Come here. Great. And I'll chain it. This is how you chain it. On the screen, if you can see it, you have insert effect, chain to, then chain. So once I press this chain, you realize that there's a right angle. If you don't know a right angle, go and ask your pre-tech teacher. Right angled line, showing that I've chained this one to this. It's there. So if this one, if you can't see them, it means you are blind. The reason why I'm trying to throw some shades is because some people are saying chord keyboards are difficult to use. Draw a right angled triangle or whatever. Two is difficult. This one, you don't draw it yourself. Just tap something and it draws for you. That's all. That's all. Okay, so I'll select my delay. I usually like to use the long one, LCL. So this is my delay. LCR. Okay. Now, remember I have to go and route that sound through IFX 4 so that it will be chained. And even on the screen, you can see it. Timbre 5 is going through reverb and it's chained to, can you guys see? So it's going through timbre 5. This is timbre 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going through reverb and it's chained to delay. It's very simple. Okay, now let's hear how it sounds. The delay ratio is too much. So I'll go to the delay, which is IFX 4? IFX 5, actually. And set the wetness and dryness ratio a little down. Then reduce the reverb ratio to a bit. Sometimes in church, if I want to create some moods, I will increase the delay. So usually I use simple lead, simple sign for some of these things. But even with this one, you can get the simple sign, a little bit of it. You have to reduce your cutoff. You know what cutoff is? Reduce it a bit. So I can reduce my delay ratio so that it's very simple. So that's how you take an empty combi and make it look like a very beautiful lady. That's what I've done now. Okay, so it's very simple. You can do this for all the 16 different timbers, and this is just like 5% of what you can use the combi to do. You can assign arpeggiators. You can actually, there's a song. I was doing a song. I wish I could do that setup right now. It takes some time. I have to do and in doing that, I have to do this marimba part. You know, in church when I was playing, I actually played it. But later on, I realized on the chronos I was using, I can actually set 2 different timbers, set one of them to delay by over that time. So once I play, it will play the second one for me, so that I don't do. Even though I was building my dexterity, but you have to work hard and smart, not too hard. You understand? Okay, so that's how you select the sound. I know some of you weren't here initially, but you can watch the video on Facebook. So that's how you select the sounds. Okay. Another thing you have to note, there are some motion sounds. Like, I don't know, the camera can't see this one. So let me try it here. Let me change the Fantasia to, let's say, a motion synth sound. I'm actually going through this because I was doing it and someone asked a question about it. There's one I usually use, BPM flashlight pad. Okay. By default, the tempo is set to the LFO frequency. LFO is low frequency oscillator, but how rapid it is set to this. So let's solo the sound and hear how it sounds like. Is that tautology? Sound, hear how it sounds like. Forgive me. Okay, let me set the mixer. That's the sound by itself. The LFO, you control it from here. If you realize the cutoff frequency is too low, so I'll increase it a bit. So let's combine this. It sounds weird, right? Let's combine it with a pad and hear how it sounds like. You feel it? Let me add my lead synth sound. So that's how, so right now we've taken you through how to select the sounds for particular timbers, how to route the sounds through insert effects, how to add a total effect on it, how to solo them, how to change the pitch. The only thing we've not touched on is the velocity zones. But I've actually taken you through how it's like. So even with this keyboard, now I use one of these keyboards in church. I don't know if it's this one. Okay, so you can sound big even without using 66, 88 or whatever. You can sound big. It's loud. I've already showed you how to, I didn't save my setup, so forgive me. That means I've lost it. That's one thing you always have to know. Anytime you're working on a combi, please save. Because if you change from that particular combi you are working on to another one and it's not saved, it means you've lost it. Everything. The same way, if you are working on a combi and you've not saved it, and you put off the keyboard mistakenly. Let's say there's a lights out or something, a power outage, and it comes back, you've lost it. Okay, so you always have to save. Once you save, it will move from the RAM to the internal disk, internal memory. You can get it anytime you want. You can even put it on a flash drive. With this one, you can put it on an SD card. For Chrome, for Kronos, you can put it on a flash drive and have your sounds, plug it into another. Cool. You can assign volume pedals to do a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, so right now, I'm a corporate now. I've lost my setup I just did because I didn't save it. You get it? So it's a lesson for everybody. You should know that you should always save your setups. But amazingly, I have it here. I think this way will leave you for today. God bless you. 30 minutes.